Philadelphia's Politics and Power That Changed America's History, from 1776 to 1860. The Articles of Confederation established the Confederation Congress that governed the United States from 1781 to 1789. Meeting in Philadelphia, the Second Continental Congress appointed a committee that began drafting the Articles in 1776. On February 21st, 1787, the Confederation Congress recognized its deficiencies and called for delegates to meet in Philadelphia to revise the Articles of Confederation. However, the Philadelphia Convention soon embarked on the creation of an entirely new document, the United States Constitution. The Constitutional Convention met in Philadelphia from May 25th to September 17th, 1787, at Independence Hall, then known as Pennsylvania State House. The convention drafted the United States Constitution, the world's oldest written national constitution still in use. The document, which divides power between the federal government and the states, launched a new phase of the American experiment in Republican government, representative democracy. 55 delegates representing all of the states except Rhode Island attended the convention in Philadelphia, a geographically central location, the biggest city in the United States, a metropolis of about 40,000 people. 24 newspapers had republished the text of the Declaration. The Pennsylvania Evening Post, printed by Benjamin Town, was the first newspaper to include the text in its passages, this being the article that had the Declaration of Independence in it. This source here is a letter written to the people titled Common Sense by Thomas Paine. It was published in Philadelphia, and it generated popular support for independence at the time. Chartered in 1791 as part of the financial and economic reforms plans of Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of the Treasury, the first bank in the United States played an instrumental role in establishing the nation's credit. Based in Philadelphia, then the national capital, the bank drew many principal investors from the region and augmented the city's role as a center of business. The bank proved to be politically controversial and a foundational point of disagreement between developing political parties. As the national capital from 1790 to 1800, Philadelphia was the seat of the federal government for a short but crucial time in the new nation's history. How and why Congress selected Philadelphia as the temporary United States capital reflects the essential debates of the era, particularly the balance of power between North and South. These debates, as well as the creation of new national institutions and the rise of political parties, defined Philadelphia's decade as the capital city and created an enduring connection to the early national period. Philadelphia, long considered the cradle of liberty in America, was also the cradle of political parties that emerged in American politics during the 1790s, when the city was also the fledgling nation's capital, a decade that began with the unanimously chosen George Washington as the first president of the United States, ended with partisan rancor as the economic policies of Alexander Hamilton, tensions in America's relationship with France, and the controversial Jay Treaty with England divided Americans into two distinct political parties, which had little, if anything, in common. Philadelphia was the epicenter of this political earthquake. Out of all the cities in America during this time period, Philadelphia was an exemplary location to be used for growth within our new nation's foundation. The city was a place where the country's leaders and founders could be open to growth through conventions, meetings, ideas, industries, and reform.